Hello, welcome. Happy Thursday. I am Leslie, and this is our March Madness writing sprint where we get all the words. And hopefully, you're enjoying if you've been going to other sprints, and hopefully, you're having a good writing week or a good writing time. Let me know in the comments what you are working on. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to work on tonight. I have been having a good writing week, thank goodness. I'm in a first draft mode. But for me, evenings is not a good time to first draft. However, I did want to share for those of you who are here. I like gadgets. If you are a listener to my podcast or if you know me, you know that I like gadgets. So I'm doing a first draft right now, and I've been going back and forth between my Freewrite Traveler, which is this one, and the brand new Freewrite Alpha. I have all the free writes, which is just insane because they're ridiculous and expensive. But I've been going back and forth to decide. I've been using the Freewrite Traveler for a long time for my first drafts, and trying to decide if I like the new Alpha, which is similar to the Alpha Smart, which I also have. And I plan to do a review, like I was going to say a book review, but a device review soon once I've used it a little bit more. I've been using it this week, and they're different. They have like a similar idea to them, but the keyboards are different. Obviously the screen's different. This one is bigger, that one is smaller. But yeah, the way the keys press are different, and the form factor is a little bit different. So they do have different experiences. But yeah, if you are joining in live, let me know what you're working on in the comments, and we're going to get started with the 30-minute sprints in just a few minutes. So I think that I would like to spend this time working on something a little bit new, not the draft I do in the mornings, because I just have my brain in the evenings is not as clear, and I think it's a better time to play. And I actually do have a short story that I have to write, and I don't know when it's due. So that's going to be one of the things I try to figure out before I start. Well, now, like as soon as we start writing, we're going to have to go through emails and find out when is this short story due that I agreed to do. I don't think it's anytime soon, so I do have time. But I have to start at least putting it in my brain now that the thing that I'm drafting is on its roll. Like I've gotten through the very difficult parts of the initial plotting. And so even though I'm not doing a full draft, I'm just doing a draft of Act 1, I can free up some brain space for another project. Welcome, Storytime Sean. Working on a mystery, started a week ago. Excellent. I do want to write a mystery. I've done one mystery novella, and mysteries are fun. I don't get a chance to write enough mysteries. So maybe that can happen sometime soon. I did a heist. I'm doing a thriller, kind of. So like I want to kind of dabble and try my hand at all of the genres if possible. So we'll get started in about a minute. We'll do like 5 after the hour if anyone else wants to say what they're working on. And do you have a goal? So we're going to do 30-minute sprints, I believe. If you have a goal for your sprint, or you just want to not have too much pressure and just get some work done, that's cool too. Oh, and if you have a beverage, I'm drinking mint tea. This is a very strong mint tea. I got it from Target. It's the first time I'm drinking their mint tea. It's intense. I love a good heist too. And I was excited to write a heist. You know, I figure I could probably write another one, but people keep asking for a sequel to that book. If I ever do a sequel, maybe it'll be another heist to keep it in the genre. Heists are fun. Mysteries are fun. There's certain genres that are just like lend themselves to being more fun, at least seeming more fun, although they're a little complicated to plot. Just writing. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to at least come up with the basic idea for this short story once I figure out when it's due. Knowing when it's due lets me know like how big I can make it and how much time I have to spend on it. I think it's like the summertime, so we'll see. If anyone else wants to post out what they're doing. I don't write with music. We write with coffee shop sounds. So I'm going to cue up the coffee shop sounds to make you feel like you're, out somewhere writing. And we'll get started with the 30-minute sprint in a second. Welcome, starting with the beginning of a small town thriller horror. Ooh, that sounds intriguing. And beginnings are tough. I've been working on beginnings all week, so I feel for you. All right, let's see. Let's share this other screen, and then we will make sure this is working. Ah, there we go. Welcome, Jocelyn. Hello. I'm glad that you made it. If you would like to say what you're working on for our sprint, please let us know in the comments. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a fairy tale short story. And that's all I know. It's literally all I have at the moment. But I'm going to spend this sprint thinking more about it. Like, I've literally have spent 0 time thinking about this. So there's no time to start like the present. All right, we are going to get started, and I will catch up with you again in 30 minutes. Hi, Lisa. Drafting a YA horror. Awesome. Ooh, productivity and working on a scene. I like it. Okay, we will start. Thank you. I thought I unmuted, but obviously I did not. Try it again. Hope you had a good sprint. um, yes, hit the like button and subscribe if you are not. I appreciate that. I do know how to work this, but obviously still tired. Let us know how you did in the comments for your sprint. I did a lot of brainstorming. I figured out when my short story is due, and I started getting notes together for it. I'm basing it on a song, or it's inspired by actually 2 songs. So I was listening to the songs over and over again, and yeah, jotting down notes for what's going to happen. So yeah, how did you do in your sprint? How did your 30 minutes go? It seemed like it went by fast to me, but sometimes brainstorming is easier than writing, or it goes faster or more smoothly than writing does. Got some reading done. Nice. Yeah. I listened to a bunch of songs and actually started researching. I got an idea, and then I was like, started researching it. I think I'll need to start a research log. I don't know. Sometimes for a short story, I don't know how much prep planning kind of stuff should go into it. I don't do a full story Bible for short stories, although this short story is sort of connected to some other short works and to a world that I'm trying to build and write more short stories in. So I will end up for this one doing inputting stuff into the story Bible for it. Started a new scene. Excellent. Eating dinner. Eating dinner in a sprint. Are you timing yourself as you eat dinner? Dinner's a good idea. I'm actually kind of hungry. I wasn't before, but now I am. So I might eat in the next sprint. Eat and brainstorm. That's a little easier. I can't eat and write, but I can eat and brainstorm. So far, if you were here at the beginning, I was talking about my new free write and comparing it to my old free write and trying to see which one is better. So far, both of them have pros and cons. So this is the new alpha. It does not have an e-ink screen. It has an LCD screen, and the Traveler has an e-ink screen, which takes a long time to refresh. But I like the keyboard better on this one than this keyboard, which is bigger keys, but they're very clicky. I don't like clicky keys. So anyway, that is kind of where my writing mind is at. I'm still going back and forth. Have to fuel the words. Yes, I need fuel for my words too. I can't write, writing is like working out in a lot of ways. I often make metaphors of writing and working out. And I can't, or I can, but I do not like to work out on an empty stomach. I do not like to write on an empty stomach. The results just aren't that good. You can do it, but would it be better if you were fed and your brain had nutrients? I don't know. Everyone is different though, so I doubt I'll get any words in the next sprint. I'm still brainstorming and I'm still plotting. And let's get started in another minute or so. If anyone else would like to pop in with what they're hoping to accomplish, what they're working on. Hi, Tatiana. Get 200 words in. Very nice. Yeah, I'm all worded out for the day. I think I have that's not true. Some days I get more words than others, but I think maybe it's a fuel thing or just a general energy thing. Becca Syme, if you know Becca Syme, she had this Kickstarter, and she's had several Kickstarters, but the most recent one was about energy pennies. And I just got this deck of cards. They delivered the rewards, and I don't know what happened to them. I think they're in the other room. But it's a deck of cards called energy pennies, and I just started looking through them briefly. And it's just basically, if you are feeling depleted, you pick a card and maybe do one of the things on those cards to replenish yourself, replenish your energy pennies, and get some more energy so that you can do more work. And so, yeah, a lot of times, the more energy I have, the more productive I have. And isn't that very logical? So we'll do another 30 minutes. I need more tea. I finished that awfully strong mint tea. The jury is still out on that mint tea. Any tips on discovery, early character dynamics, tone, or do you just put in the words? Now, I can't really start writing until I know at least a little bit about the character and the tone. So the first draft that I'm working on in the mornings, this new novel, I spent the last couple of weeks trying to, like, the plot was done. I had the plot, the outline. I didn't have the character and, like, the voice. And that goes into tone also. And I think it goes into, like, sometimes I have to hear the character, I have to know the first line before I can start. And so yeah, sometimes you have to, like, write a little something, like, challenge yourself just to write a few hundred words just to try it and see. And then once you have something on the page, it's easier to edit. And eventually that's what I did. I did a lot of character work. I like to, like, trying to find who the character is and the tone of their voice, what they sound like, their energy can be knowing more about motivation and why they're doing the things they're doing, and then who they are, personality. And a lot of that comes through the writing, but I do have to have, like, at least a chunk of it before I can even start writing. So what I was doing was going through some of just character, not profiles, but arc stuff, character arcs, and trying to figure out how they're changing so I know where they start and where they end. And then eventually I did that for a while and I was like, okay, I still can't hear them. So I have to start writing a little bit. I was like, I'm going to write 100 words. And that usually becomes 500. And then, okay, I'm getting into the story. I know what's happening. After 3 days of writing this week for me, it kicked in. So for me, that meant writing 8,000 words and then starting over at the beginning, which is a little bit painful, but those 8,000 words weren't wasted because they helped me figure out what was happening. And they helped me figure out that actually my POV was wrong. Not POV, my narrative device or the way I was approaching it was wrong. And I started today with a new approach that felt right, that I only discovered from those. So yeah, short answer, character work, arcs, and motivation, and then just do some sample writing. And knowing, I was thinking of, as I was doing this today, like maybe doing a video about intuition as a writer. Like, how do you know when to trust yourself? How do you learn to trust yourself? Because sometimes what you're writing feels really bad, it feels wrong. And then you have to keep at it. Like, you can't just stop when it feels wrong. Like, the first draft was feeling bad on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm like, I'm just going to keep going and it'll get me someplace else where I can recognize that this is not right and come up with a plan. Hopefully that helped. I think it's kind of, the answer is both. Sometimes words are just stepping stones to better words. Exactly. Yeah. And you can't feel like they're wasted because without them, you wouldn't have gotten to the better words. And that's the most important part, right? And I'm totally on board with making a writing schedule. I do that too. Sometimes it's like I write for a few days and figure out what my pace is for that particular project because every project is different. This project was going really fast. Like, technically it was going well, but all the words were the wrong words. So, and it's still going well because they led me to the right words, at least right today. Like, next week, who knows? I'll have a different story. I don't know if it's helpful. You are welcome. Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to keep brainstorming, do some more research, maybe set up a research log in Notion so that I can keep track of the articles that I'm reading and any notes I'm making that will help me in my brainstorming for this short story that is due in May. So plenty of time, but I'm glad I looked that up because I say yes to things and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And then it shows up on my calendar. And that's not a good feeling. Okay, so another 30 minutes, and let's check in at the end and see what you get if we finished our meals, if we finished our planning and our writing. Alrighty. Hello, I'm unmuted. I'm winning. How'd it go, everybody? I got actually a lot of good work done. And Ash had said from our last conversation, building on the draft and making it better. Her problem is knowing when it's enough, which is, I hear that a version of this from a lot of authors. Like, when is the book done? When is the draft done? When do I know I've done enough? When is it good enough? I think that's something that we all struggle with, definitely. Welcome, Chelsea Rinden Melanin. I appreciate you coming by to hit the like button. If anyone else would like to hit the like button, I invite you to do so now. But in this hour, I got the basics of the plot for the short story. So that feels like a lot of productivity. 50-50? Please say more. Yeah. And knowing when it's enough, it's tough. I think it goes back to the intuition thing that I was talking about. And also then getting it as far as you can without tearing your hair out and then giving it to someone else. And then usually I trust other people to tell me when it's done. Hello, anime fan. Having a hard time believing that I can actually produce a good story. Oh, again, this is intuition too. Do you have any advice for getting over this? Sometimes, I mean, I think it's probably linked to imposter syndrome, which so many writers have. And like, what makes you think it's not? Like, have you completed anything? And do you like it? I think the advice for feeling like, can you actually produce a good story? Because I mean, it's definitely very relatable, but the first person you're writing for is yourself. And so if you're consistently writing things that you don't like, then is it a matter of going back to craft or even breaking down the stories that you do like? What do you love in the things that you read? What do you love about anime that you watch or manga or whatever stories that you like? And there's this idea from another writer, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, called the id list, or like think of it like a love list. Like, what are your favorite things to watch or to read about or to listen to? Can you tell a story that has those things, or maybe not all of them, but like pick a few and start just writing for you stories that you love. And we all go through the point in writing where we hate what we're writing. Usually for me, it's about 50 to 75% of the way through. I'm like, this is terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever done. And having a writer friend be like, you say that every time. It's probably not. You're not reliable between 50 and 75% of the book. Keep going. Get to the end. I've always found that when I get to the end, it's better than I thought. And once I have something, I can always make it better. So I would really just pay attention to, like, why do you feel that way? Is it actually a reliable, real thing? Or is it something that you should just ignore and keep writing? It's always going to be something that you should ignore and keep writing, but keep writing. And also, do you need to strengthen your craft? Is there a book or a course or a workshop that you can do that will give you some more tools to keep writing and know that you're gaining the tools to get better at what you're doing? And then when you can write something that you like, you have won. And if you don't like what you're writing, read it again in a month and see, now do you like it? Because sometimes we're in it so close that we can't see it clearly. And then give it to someone else, maybe people you don't know. There are like online groups, there's beta readers, there's different ways that you can find feedback. Some of it is not going to be helpful, but some of it will be helpful. An editor or a manuscript analysis, something like that, where someone can give you some external validation and feedback, or things to work on, like, or validation with, these parts were really great, but here's some things that you can work on. That would be my advice for that. Your first scene feels too wordy, but you can fix it in edits, hopefully. Yes, you can fix it in edits. Getting there on the voice. Yeah, voice takes time. Voice is tricky, but I'm glad that you're getting there and you're making progress and you're pushing forward. Keep writing. That's like the thing. There's so many people who stop and they never know what they could have done, what they could have become. And there's also that sort of famous Ira Glass video or audio. I think it's just audio. Ira Glass from This American Life, where he talks about when you're earlier in any kind of art and you know what's good, but you know what you're doing isn't as good as the thing that you love, there's that gap, and that gap is so painful. But the only way to cross the gap is to keep doing it. Even when it's hard, even when you feel like it sucks. And to a certain degree, I'm sorry to say that feeling never quite goes away, but you can gain confidence that I've produced something else that I liked and other people liked it too. And once you do that and keep doing it, you can keep doing it, and you prove to yourself that you can keep doing it. And you learn the parts to listen to, and through like developing that intuition. When do I listen to myself that this doesn't feel right and I need to make a change? And when not to listen to myself and be like, okay, this feels wrong, but it always feels wrong. And you have to get through it to get to the parts that feel right. Jocelyn almost scrapped my creative project, but I'm pushing through my creative blocks. Yay. Yes, that is what we have to do. Like, and sometimes, pushing through is absolutely the right answer. Sometimes setting it aside is the right answer. And, there's no one size fits all answer to that. But I think keep pushing through until you feel like you can't anymore. And then maybe it's fine to take a break and come back to it later. Or, I've got a bunch of projects that if I live long enough, I hope that I'll be able to come back to them later and give them the attention that I think they deserve. And like other writers have trunk novels that they will never go back to. I have novels that I hope, like I said, I hope I live long enough to get back to all of them, because I don't want to trunk any of them. I would love to finish each and every one, although it's not exactly realistic. But yeah, there's always new ideas, and I just have like 5 new ideas like every day. So that was the last sprint. I turned into a pumpkin around 9 o'clock. It's getting close to that for me. 8:24 to 9. It's like a half an hour window. But thank you all so much for joining me. I will be back next Thursday for another sprint, for my last March Madness sprint. The link to the other sprinters is in the description. I know we had some other people who are doing sprints here with us. If you want to shout that out in the comments, please do, if y'all are still here. But I hope that you get many more words, many more scheduling and, reading, whatever you're doing. Do the most, do it all. And I appreciate you guys being here. I may or may not be live Monday. We'll see how I feel on doing the romantasy, but check it out if I'm here. And I will see you all next week, hopefully. Happy writing, and have a good weekend until we speak again. Bye.